Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're going to be doing the week 2 recap of the NFL. I picked 4 different teams as if you guys didn't watch my channel last week, I did the week 1 recap. Uh, so, and I told everybody to comment what they wanted me to do for this week. I got a couple different comments, but I'm going to go with my good friend Jake Robinson and his Baltimore Ravens. They played Cincinnati. But before I get into it, I want you guys, if you guys are into baseball, I want you to go to Jake's podcast. It is on iTunes, any major of the platforms like that. But it is the Let's Talk Baseball radio podcast. Definitely knows what he's talking about with baseball, and I highly recommend it if you're into baseball or even if any sport in general. If you want to just listen to it, he has some good points, good topics. So check that out. Um, so like I said, I'm gonna pick his team, the Ravens, Cincinnati. That was the Thursday night game. Basically, it was the uh, Dalton and Green show. Green had 3 touchdowns in the first half. Um, it was just he was. It seemed like he was unstoppable. The Ravens' defense is, I mean, one of the. Don't want to say one of the greatest because they still are missing pieces, but I think the defense could definitely help them win that division once they get all the pieces rolling. Um, and I mean, the offense isn't bad either. You had Joe Flacco; he had a touchdown, 2 touchdowns, sorry, with an interception. The fumble, I think, is really what could have had them going if it wasn't for the turnovers. Um, 3 turnovers altogether. But I mean, if there's no stopping AJ Green on defense, it was just hard for them to catch up uh, offense wise. So I mean, tough loss for them, division loss. But and it's funny because Jake always says I look like Joe Flacco. I don't see it, but whatever he says, I guess. Um, the next one, tough one for me, the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't know where he came from, what he's doing, what kind of juice he's drinking, but I mean, he had 402 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, but I mean, that interception could have, besides the fumble, there was Evans caught the ball and just didn't go down, so they pulled it out. But I mean, that fumble more would have helped us more than Fitzpatrick's interception. But I mean, to me, it seemed like the Eagles were just gassed. It was like 110, 115 degrees on the field, is what the sportscasters were saying. Um, and they I think they went into that game thinking that they were going to beat the Buccaneers. But I mean, I'm pretty sure it was the first play. Fitzpatrick threw a 75-yard touchdown to Deshaun Jackson, which hurt a little bit, seeing as he was on. He was one of our best players. Thanks Chip Kelly for ruining that for us. But yeah, I think the heat just got to them. Everybody was cramping up. Fletcher Cox was out for a little bit. Mike Wallace injured his ankle. He just got put on the IR, and I'm kind of glad it took me. I was supposed to post the video yesterday, but I decided to wait till today to do it. But I just found out before I got on here that Mike Wallace is on the injured reserve, and they just signed Jordan Matthews, which I mean, Eagles fans tend to not want former players, but I think he was Carson Wentz's biggest target in Carson's rookie year. So I think he'll definitely help us out. Um, yeah, with that being said, Carson's back next week to go against the Colts. So I think big things are going to start happening, and not to take anything away from Nick Foles, because he, I mean, 6-2 once you came in, took us to the Super Bowl, had a phenomenal run in the playoffs. So not to take anything away from him, but he knows what lies ahead for him as a backup. So it is what it is, and hopefully we can get the ball rolling to on our way for another Super Bowl. The third game I chose was the Kansas City Chiefs Steelers. That was a runaway for the Chiefs. It it looked like the Steelers were going to catch up, but Patrick Mahomes is he had 6 touchdowns and almost three. No, it was like 325 yards, 326. Um, Two of the receivers had 100 yards, if not over. I know Travis Kelce had 109. Sammy Watkins just broke 100. They each, I believe they each had 2 touchdowns apiece. But, uh, I mean, Patrick Mahomes was unstoppable. No interceptions. Uh, and I don't know what's going on in Pittsburgh, but they need to definitely figure it out. I'm surprised. I didn't catch it anyway if Le'Veon Bell posted another Twitter or not. But I know Connor only had 17 yards, which, I mean, deep down, I guess Le'Veon Bell had to laugh about that. But their offense just seems like it's falling apart. Ben had 60 passing attempts, and that is astronomical. But and then Brown isn't getting thrown to, or whatever he was complaining about, and one of the AP people in the Steelers side really got to him. I mean, look at the tweet. Brown was firing back at him, saying, "Oh, if you don't think that I can do it by myself, then trade me." So that definitely got in the media spotlight, but they just need to figure it out. And I'll say it time and time again. I just think it's time for Ben to give it up, and I'm not just saying that because I don't like the Steelers. It's just, I mean, he did what he did. He's a Super Bowl champion. Just it's time to let go. He reminds me a lot of Brett Favre. Like, he doesn't want to leave, but you can tell it's just time for him to retire, and he's going to be one of those players that plays way past the time that he should have just stopped, and it's going to make it worse. I mean, he'll be in the Hall of Fame, but his numbers are just not going to be as good as they could have been. But who knows? It could all turn around for him, but I don't see it happening in the future until they get that whole team on the same page. But and my final game was the Cowboys Giants, which the Cowboys defense was like a brick wall. It's like the Giants O line didn't even show up, which they've had games like that before. But look at this picture. Eli just, after he got knocked down, he just looks like he is ready to quit. But I mean, I know they had 6 sacks. The Bears did also, but like I said, the defense there just had that whole game shook. That's why I didn't pick the Bears, but and I wanted to talk about a rival game, but Barkley barely had 30 rushing yards. He just got shut down. I know he did have 80 receiving yards, which I mean helped them out for a little, I guess. But um, Prescott had 160 yards, which it wasn't a high stat game, but Eli had Eli had close to 300 yards passing. It was 279, I believe. Um, Prescott had 160 yards, one touchdown. Elliott, I mean, I think Elliott could have ran through the Giants defense, but I know he had a touchdown, so I think between those two teams and the Redskins, I think the Redskins will end up finishing last, even with Alex Smith. He was a good pickup for them, but I just think that it's not. They'll end up finishing last. That's my prediction. And I'm not doing it because I like the Eagles, but I'm predicting that the Eagles will be first, Dallas, the Giants, then the Redskins. So, and then a couple other things I wanted to talk about. I was going to do it before I started, but a lot of weird things happened this week. You had Vontae Davis retire at halftime, which everybody's saying is disrespectful. He could have at least waited until after the game, but he got dressed, left at halftime. And another tie, Vikings, Green Bay. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem himself, which the first game he was so hopped up on medicine that he barely knew where he was. But he just doesn't after. And I know ties are disappointing. I hate ties. It affects everything at the end of the season. But and then the thing that made them go into a tie was the hit on that Clay Matthews got penalized for. But nobody wants to tie. It's just go do another. I mean, your players are eventually going to get tired. Someone's going to slip up on a play, and just man, I mean, it shows who can outlast longer. It's not like it's going to go into baseball where you've had the Pirates and the Braves go 19 innings and people just gave up. People are going to get tired, and then the better team's eventually going to win. But what else was there? Like I said, the Bears, Khalil Mack is just a force. John Gruden is probably punching himself for getting rid of him. But yeah, so that was basically it in a nutshell. Excuse me. I definitely can't wait to see Carson come back. I think he'll definitely have a good game against the Colts. And I mean, Andy Luck is as tough as it is too. So, I mean, if he turns on his game, it could definitely be a shootout. But I'm excited to see what he does. And they said Ajay might be out, so we got Corey Clement, which he seemed to impress last week too. Well, week 2. So we'll see what goes on with that game. That will be week 3. Keep you guys updated with that. So yeah, anybody else want to comment what team they think I should do next? Just comment down below. I will also post this up on Facebook, so if you guys want to comment on Facebook, you can feel free to do that. Anything you want me to talk about, just post. Definitely want to keep this rolling. Get your thoughts, comments. So, yeah, smash that like button and let me know what you want me to do for next week. Alright, guys, catch you later.